Death Wrestling with Death Wrestling with Dethmare.
Welcome to Wrestling with Dethmare. It's been a crazy ass week in pro wrestling, starting off with Cody Rhodes finally finishing his story, to CM Punk appearing on WWE television and AEW television in the same week. Whew, there's a lot to unpack here, not even to mention the fact that Jon Moxley is the very first person ever to win the AEW title, WWE title, and AEW title. Good on him. Jon Moxley gets a lot of criticism, but I dig Mox. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into some breaking news! So, like every other YouTube personality when it comes to pro wrestling, I claim that I have all the latest scoops and breaking news in pro wrestling, but in reality I'm just going to some run-of-the-mill wrestling dirt sheet and just reading things verbatim. The only difference, I'm being honest about it. So, let's get into it. Starting off here, it looks like all of Vince McMahon's remaining TKO WWE parent company shares are now registered for sale. Breaking news! No, not really. That's not really breaking news. That's kind of to be expected. I mean, Homeboy's going to need the money to pay off a lot of people. Whether anything leads to courtrooms or to pay off people behind the scenes or to pay off the police or to pay off people that he was supposed to pay off throughout however many years. He's going to need it because clearly his own family has disowned him on WWE TV, and they're making that very clear. It's called Killing with Kindness. It's also called Show, No, Tell. What else we got here? Former WWE champion Big E comments on the results of his 2-year neck scans. No fucking way. He commented on his neck that's been broke? Breaking news! Okay. Let's see. I'm Dethmare. I'm going to give you all of the latest breaking news in pro wrestling. WWE reportedly making production change that will be noticeable on television. This, honest to God, is not even breaking news. This has been so clear, crystal clear, as The Rock would say, on WWE television for the past 3+ weeks. Of course, that's what they're trying to do. You can watch it for 3 hours every Monday, 2 hours every Friday. How is this breaking news? I don't know, but I'm Dethmare, and I'm going to give you all of the breaking news in pro wrestling. Breaking news! Let's see, any other breaking news in pro wrestling? Let's see. WWE's longest running employee is reportedly no longer working with the company. Holy shit! Oh my god! You know, that reminds me, I was at a job for 4+ years, and I was the longest person there at one point, before I went to a different job. A lot of people are like that. Happens all the time. It is what it is. Life goes on, but apparently to these marks, that's breaking news. Shawn Michaels reveals who he would like to wrestle against if he had one more match in WWE. I'm not even clicking on that because I'll tell you the answer. The one that's going to pay the most. End of story. End of story. Anything else, this is all just, PR. He's doing his job. He's keeping his locker room happy. He's, if you've ever been a boss in any kind of management anywhere, you would know that there's times where you give this thing called verbal praise. And you don't do it often, but when you do, it means something. And that's your go-to person. You have to keep them the most happiest. So good on Michael Hickenbottom. Kenny Omega comments on where things stand between himself and CM Punk following AEW Brawl-Out incidents. What? No way! Breaking news! Once again, not even a thing worthy of clicking on. I'm pretty sure this website is going to give my computer viruses anyway. It's ran by the Marks, so who the fuck knows what they do. Oh, and my green screen's kind of messed up right now. Oh, wow, did I mess it up? Hold on, let me fix that. Oh, shit. Ugh. Oh, my God. Oh, someone almost got through the fence there. Whew. Look, here's the thing. If you've actually been following Kenny Omega, truly in his career, you would know that above all else, one thing above all else that he wants to do is have a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles. AJ Styles literally saved Kenny Omega's career. Right when Kenny Omega was about to have his last professional wrestling match, the promoter had brought in AJ Styles as a gift to wrestle Kenny. And that one match made Kenny love professional wrestling all over again. So as far as Kenny Omega's relationship with CM Punk, I believe Kenny Omega could leave the past behind him. Clearly, he's not been on AEW TV, and I know diverticulitis and all that. But let's be honest. Alright, how many things have came up out of nowhere in Kenny Omega's life right after this Brawl-Out stuff? However long ago it was. He doesn't want to be there. End of story. End of story. Of course he's going to go in, he's going to do his job, but at the end of the day, he knows that he's just a human, and he has a human body, and eventually he's going to make the move. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. AEW star explains his decision to stay with the company instead of signing a WWE contract. Breaking news! No, just kidding. Once again, not even a thing worthy of clicking on. Look, when it comes to anyone choosing one place of work over the other, it always comes down to two things, okay? Scheduling and money, okay? End of story. If I was happy with the scheduling and or money in a job that I have been at for however many years, well, then I wouldn't have went to a different job. I I don't know which star. I don't know if there's any stars in AEW, to be honest. MJF's, not on TV anymore right now. So, um, but no, they should probably keep that information to themselves. That's kind of personal. But hey, whatever helps them sleep at night, man. Um, the return of Uncle Howdy, seemingly teased during WWE SmackDown event in Detroit. Once again, not breaking news. Um, Little things of Uncle Howdy's has been appearing on TV randomly here and there. Very similar to how the White Rabbit promos were before Bray Wyatt returned. So yeah, that's not even news at all. That's just a statement. But the marks and the dirt sheets. The scapegoat in quotations. Jack Perry mocks CM Punk at New Japan Pro Wrestling Windy City Riot. Well, at least one person other than CM Punk is trying to make money with this whole incident. Or I would like to think they are. If not, then, I guess let the blind lead the blind, just like the Bible says. AEW's Jon Moxley wins the IWGP World title at New Japan Pro Wrestling Windy City Riot. Yeah, I just said that. Like, this is their breaking news. Okay, this is just a random run-of-the-mill dirt sheet that every YouTuber personality, when it comes to pro wrestling, they go on and, oh my god, blah blah blah. And let's be honest, when they turn the camera off, they don't give two fucks. Okay, end of story. That honestly can't be it, right? Their top story was the longest running WB employees no longer working there. Actually, that's a lie anyway, because Vince McMahon was the truly longest running employee working there, and he was not there for a while. So these marks don't know shit from Adam, if you catch my drift. Scrolling through here to see if there's anything of any significance. What? Okay, I'm losing brain cells from even being on this. And I'm pretty sure my computer has viruses now. So, to anyone watching this, you're welcome. You're welcome. If I don't do any more videos, then, this is why, and I blame you. No, not really. Okay. Well, one thing I do want to talk about. Let's see here. Is this guy. This guy right here. Let's see. Let's find a good picture of him. Should we do one or two? No, we'll do this one. No. Not this one. No. Do this one. There we go. Oh, almost. Oh. Yep, here come the viruses. Yep. And see, you put Tony Khan on your computer screen like this, like just an image, and your PC instantly gets viruses. This is insane, bro. Absolutely insane. Can I do anything with this? Oh boy. Ugh. Good grief, Tony. Good grief, bro. Oof, okay. Yeah, let's go here. Let's see. Let's look at this guy for a minute here. What in the world is... Oh, oof. There we go. Is this good? No? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh well. Just leave it on here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Brother. Look at this guy. This man is so happy to take pictures with Shaq. He's like, oh, I love Shazam. Anyway, let's talk about Tony Khan. Okay, so before I even get started, I am not an AEW hater. Like everyone else, when AEW started, I was so happy. So happy. Because we would have everything about pro wrestling that makes it fun again. And even when AEW started, I mean, you could argue TNA was already dead. I mean, it was rebranded Impact Wrestling and looked like SmackDown Light, for crying out loud. So AEW was this new thing, and it was on TV and had all these people and new stars that could have character development and strong storytelling, episodic TV, similar to the Attitude Era, or even, dare I say, the Golden Era. And what happened? Along the way, there were so many issues that could have been addressed that never were. Why? Why did this guy let so many controllable things, so many preventable things happen this much to screw everything up? Why? I'll tell you why. Because he's a lazy, emotional, petty, God complex having, no backbone having boss. And hey, look, I would like to think that we've all had bosses like this at one point or another. You know, you do everything you can and you just always butt heads with them. And at the end of the day, you have to leave that place because nothing is going to change. Why? Because some people never change. Even with all of this drama and incidents that are allegedly CM Punk's fault, he's not even there anymore. The so-called issue, the so-called cancer to the AEW locker room, as Chris Jericho put it before he backpedaled, isn't even there anymore. And it's still going on. So far that Tony Khan never wanted to address any issue whatsoever at all up until it became about him and his feelings. Oh, then he wanted to do something about it, right? Yeah. Tony, if that is your real name, you may be the worst wrestling fan of all time. Why do I say that? Because number one, that's what you are, a wrestling fan. I am a wrestling fan. You don't listen to anybody. You have Arn Anderson, Mark Henry. You had Sting, um, Jake Roberts, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone. Um, I'm forgetting a lot of people, but you have so many people around you to help you, and you don't listen to any of them. Why? Because of your ego. Absolute ego. Oh, it's my company. I have to do everything. That's called a God complex. When you feel as if you have to be the one to do everything, that is called a God complex. When you have a team, it is supposed to be a team. You are supposed to trust people on your team to do certain things. For example, Vince McMahon had a writer named Vince Russo. He trusted Vince Russo to write the show. 8 million viewers every Monday. The writer, Vince Russo, trusted the talent, the professional wrestlers, to just take a few bullet points, a few ideas, do whatever they wanted with it, run with it. What happened? Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mankind. It's called trust. You have to trust people. It is a team. And then Vince Russo left, and Vince McMahon never trusted another writer. The Rock trusted another writer. That writer's name was Brian Gewirtz. And they're still a team because they still trust each other. And look at him. The biggest movie star in the world comes back to wrestling after however long, and now the viewership of Monday Night Raw was slightly over 3 million. That's amazing. And it all starts with one word. Trust. This man right here, Tony Khan, has no trust whatsoever. So unless there's a drastic change, a divine intervention, or he has a wake-up call, or all of the above, nothing is going to change. I'm not an AEW hater, but I feel so angry because AEW could have been amazing. Amazing. Like, how do you have Sting, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, just so many great people, household names, to pass the torch to all these newer talents and to do something special and beautiful with pro wrestling. And at the end of the day, not have anything done at all. I mean, let's take a look at Wardlow. How many times have other people gotten Wardlow so over that it just pissed you off, Tony Khan, because you weren't the one that got him over? I'm talking about CM Punk got Wardlow over. MJF got Wardlow over. And you didn't like that. Because those weren't your ideas. And sure, I'm sure, to these people's faces and backstage, you were all nice. But the proof is in the pudding. Because once an MJF isn't there backstage every day, or a CM Punk isn't in your company anymore, what do you do with Wardlow? You fucking absolutely bury him. Because you have a God complex. It wasn't your idea. And I don't know what it is with these people, their upbringings, their surroundings, their money, their I don't know. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. But I am going to call it out. Judgment is not for us to give. That's for the man upstairs to give. And if I pass judgment on, then he's going to look at me instead. And I don't want that. So, if by any chance Tony Khan watches this, dude, you have so many great characters on your roster. All you need to do is have fun with it. Vignettes, movie-esque footage. You have great characters like Orange Cassidy, who for whatever reason is having 20-minute matches every week, and he's not supposed to. That's not his character. People don't want to see that. We want to see Orange Cassidy be Orange Cassidy. He's lazy, he's a sloth, but he's still cool. Build on that. Or even a Danhausen. I was so mad when Danhausen debuted for AEW because it was an absolute joke. You have a character like Danhausen and you just bring him out under the ring and say, here he is. Are you serious? Dude, you could have had vignettes every week of a huge, 10-foot, 500-pound shadow, evil, scaring everyone. Who is it? Who is it? And then it finally gets to the reveal. And it's little old Danhausen. It's classic Danhausen. Simpsons-esque horror comedy. How do we miss the ball with that? He doesn't have to have a match at all. You could have made so much money with him. You still can. There's a lot of people you can make money with. The Hardys. Why are they... What are they even out there for? You're not treating them as if they're the Hardys. Why has there been no build-up to Hardy's Young Bucks on TV? And it just blows me away, man. I don't get it. You have intelligent, creative people there. If you're not creative, then stop trying to be creative. Let other people do that. If you don't know how to book, let other people do that. If you don't know anything about production, let other people do that. Or just fire them all, like you always do. Because you're a billionaire and you don't care who has to be the scapegoat. Just like Vince McMahon. And this has been Wrestling with Dethmare. Hope you enjoyed the breaking news and all the AEW talk. I think the AEW talk in general has been the most talked about topic in pro wrestling this past week. Not because it's so popular, but because I think wrestling fans are just ready to move on away from it. It was a thing that got everyone's hopes up and it just let us all down. And hey, I still don't hate AEW. I want to love AEW. I really do. I really do. But, at least try to entertain me here. Enough with the stop and start stories. the quick throwaway storylines, burying people that are over and just abruptly changing their character. It's enough with it, man. Like, this guy showed a real fight between CM Punk and, look, it could have been anyone, okay? It was a real fight with CM Punk, okay? Enough said. And still couldn't even get 1 million views. I want to talk, I don't get any views. I get that, but I'm also not on worldwide television or national broadcast, whatever TNT is. I don't know. All you need to look at is Tony Schiavone's reaction afterwards on commentary. That's all you need to look at. The last thing I want to talk about is the Bloodline story. We saw Solo Sikoa take out Jimmy Uso with the debut of Tama Tonga. That was awesome. That was interesting. I had no idea what was going on. And I honestly had to think about it for a few hours of what direction they may be going in. And let me tell you, I think the direction they're going in is Solo's not trying to be the new tribal chief. But I think with The Rock being gone, allegedly right now, he's still running things behind the scenes. And he's calling the real shots. And I think that's not going to be revealed right away. I think what it's ultimately going to lead to is The Rock comes back to fight Cody, and Roman Reigns causes The Rock to lose. And I think inevitably what's going to happen is a great story arc with Roman realizing all of the wrong he's done. And it's going to be old bloodline versus new bloodline. It's going to be Roman and the Usos versus The Rock, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga. That's what I think is going to happen. And that could also lead to a big WrestleMania match, between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Or a night 1, night 2 thing like how they did with this past WrestleMania, WrestleMania 40. Have a tag match the first night, and then night 2 have the one-on-one. That's good shit, I think, I think so far, Paul Levesque is doing a great job with his storytelling, especially with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That's some good shit. I'm interested to see what happens with Damian Priest in the Judgment Day. I would like to see a story where Damian Priest and Finn Balor start to butt heads. I would like for them to butt heads and Priest becomes a good guy, and then you have a big match where it's Priest versus Demon. Just throwing that out there. I think it's a good idea. I think it's where they should go. I wanted them to do that like last year, but looking at it now, it's even better timing now that Priest is World Heavyweight Champion. So there's a lot of things going on in pro wrestling, mainly WWE. I don't really watch anything else. I I mean, honestly, I don't even watch WWE on TV. I just keep up with everything, through the internet. You know what I mean? Um, but you guys tell me, like, well, where do you think each story in pro wrestling is going? What do you think about Tony Khan? What do you think is going to happen with this Bloodline story, the CM Punk Drew McIntyre story? What do you think is going to happen with Damian Priest? There's a lot of good things going on in pro wrestling. And I like to end things on a positive note, and I think that's what we did here. And I thank all you viewer mares, and I hope you enjoyed this breaking news.